Welcome, everyone, to the 2002 NBA playoffs on ESPN. Thanks for joining us. I'm Bob Rumbold. We kick off our playoff coverage today with the Eastern Conference's top seed, New Jersey, playing host to the 8th-seeded Indiana Pacers. While the Nets have been on top of the East for a couple of months now, the Pacers needed all 82 games to reach the postseason. In their final game Wednesday night, Indiana needed a win over the 76ers and a loss from either Toronto or Milwaukee. The Bucks obliged, losing to Detroit, and they were eliminated from the playoffs. Now, the Pacers did have the home fans behind them in this one, and the Sixers were without Allen Iverson and Dikembe Mutombo, thus the slam by Greg Foster. Even when things looked bad, they would end up looking pretty good. After the block, Reggie Miller ends up with the ball and nails the three. Reggie with 11. Seemed like Indiana just wanted the game more. Ron Artest causes the steal, gets it back, puts it in. Pacers go on to win it 103-80, and the fans were happy about that one. Looking at Indiana's playoff history, they've been in the postseason in 12 of the last 13 years, and this is their 5th in a row. They lost to the Lakers in the NBA Finals in 6 games 2 years ago. As for the Nets, this is new territory. It's their first ever Atlantic Division championship since joining the NBA way back in '76. One good reason for the amazing turnaround, the acquisition of Jason Kidd. With Kidd, the Nets got their first 50-win season, going from winning just 26 games a year ago to going 52-30 this season. Kidd's unselfish play and leadership has spread throughout the team and just might earn him his first NBA MVP honors. New Jersey's playoff history, much different than their opponents. This is their first playoff appearance in 4 years. And the last time they won a playoff series was against Philadelphia, way back in the first round of the playoffs in 1984. 2 young and exciting teams will kick off the NBA playoffs on ESPN. It's the Pacers and Nets. Enjoy the game, everyone.
It's a special time of the year in the NBA, and that is playoff time. Even more special for the fans of the New Jersey Nets, making their first playoff appearance since 1998 as they get ready to host the Indiana Pacers in Game 1 of this first-round Eastern Conference Series. It's a best-of-5, so a quick start will be crucial. I'm Mark Brown along with Rick Weitzman, and inside Continental Airlines Arena is where they will do battle. These two NBA teams had their roots in the ABA. In fact, met once to determine the ABA championship. We'll have a little more on that as we go along. The Pacers at 42-40 are the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. They had to win their last 5 games and have Milwaukee lose just to get to this point. Jason Kidd and the number 1 in the Eastern Conference Nets getting ready to host the Pacers. That's on the way on the NBA on ESPN. Just a moment or two away from Game 1 of this first-round series in the Eastern Conference. The Indiana Pacers and New Jersey Nets. As Eastern Conference foes, these two teams know each other well, with the Nets taking 3 of 4 in the regular season.
Throw it out the window, Mark.
Okay.
The regular season doesn't mean anything. First of all, it was before the big trade that Indiana made that brought them Ron Artest, Ron Mercer, and Brad Miller. So this is a whole new season. And the key to this whole series is right there. Jason Kidd, the major acquisition for New Jersey this year. He makes them go. He's the key. If he can get out in transition and get the Nets running, they'll be able to play their game.
Jason Kidd, of course, has had that tremendous impact. They have doubled the victories for the New Jersey Nets from last season to this. And as Rick said, you need to look no further than that guy right there. As you look at the numbers on the season, almost 10 assists a game. That's second in the league. He's 3rd in steals, 33rd in rebounding. Not that impressive until you think about that's the 2nd best among all guards in the NBA. The complete package offensively and defensively. And the Nets hope to ride him all the way to the NBA Finals. They will try to take that first step against the Pacers when we come back. Well, Isaiah Thomas will start. Jermaine O'Neal, Ron Artest up front, and Jamal Tinsley, Reggie Miller, and at the center position, Brad Miller, and maybe for the first time in a playoff series, Brad Miller may be a key for Indiana.
Well, he could be, but I think you look no further than Reggie Miller and Jermaine O'Neal for your keys to Indiana.
Kenyon Martin, Keith Van Horn, and Todd McCullough up front. We told you about Jason Kidd. 8 triple-doubles this season. That led everybody. He has 46 in his career. And we're ready to get underway at the Meadowlands in New Jersey.
Now, one of the things to look for early, Mark, is who is going to cover Jermaine O'Neal inside for New Jersey. And it looks like it's Keith Van Horn. That could be a problem for New Jersey because O'Neal is one of the pure post-up guys in the Eastern Conference.
Brad Miller hits the jumper to get things started, and of course that means McCullough's out on Miller, so that's something to watch as well.
Exactly, and it takes McCullough away from the rebounding on the defensive boards.
Nets go down to Martin, and Kenyon Martin fires up an air ball on his first playoff field goal attempt.
And Indiana will try to control the tempo, control the pace of this game. Good up fake by Miller, got inside and drew the foul. McCullough is not comfortable being away from the paint defensively, and Miller is the type of player who can step outside and hit that jump shot, so you've got to respect that.
The foul is drawn by Miller on McCullough, and you know, to be fair, it's something that in a lot of the pre-series build-up that Jermaine O'Neal, the Pacers, talked about. Is like, hey, you know what? Now they're going to have to guard us straight up, and that I'm not going to have to face McCullough in there. He's going to be out on Miller, and right away, the first two possessions, we've seen the results of that.
We've seen We've seen Indiana go to Brad Miller as the outlet, not as the main focal point of the offense, but he's been open because McCullough has been reluctant to leave that paint defensively.
Kerry Kittles gives to Kenyon Martin up front, and he draws iron this time, but still not close. He's 0 for 2. It's a 4-0 Indiana lead as Jamal Tinsley, the rookie point guard, leads Indiana into the playoffs, gives to O'Neal against Van Horn.
That is a tough matchup right there that Van Horn got the better of because he forced O'Neal into a shot that O'Neal shouldn't have taken.
Kerry Kittles should have taken that one, and he hits a 3 for the Nets to get them on the board.
Now, if Indiana is unable to slow down New Jersey, they're in for a long, long afternoon because New Jersey keys its game on its transition game. Usually in the playoffs, transition teams aren't as successful as they should be.
O'Neal this time hits the turnaround off the tough angle on the baseline over Van Horn.
And that time O'Neal took what he wanted rather than settling for what Van Horn gave him. O'Neal can get that kind of shot every time down the floor because Van Horn is just not as tough a defensive player as you need to cover Jermaine O'Neal.
This is McCullough in the lane, misses on the little hook, and a traveling violation as O'Neal tried to come out of the pack with a rebound.
Now, Jason Kidd keys this. He always finds the open man. Kerry Kittles has got to make those kind of shots. Here, O'Neal on a post-up, got an awful lot of moves, and Van Horn cannot be physical against him because Van Horn's just not a physical player.
Here's Van Horn against Artest. Size advantage there, but Artest is a very tough defender.
That's exactly right. Artest is an excellent defender, and I wouldn't be surprised somewhere in this series to see Artest covering Jason Kidd.
Look for that. This is Miller at the free throw line. Makes the pass and hits the jumper. Brad Miller has 6.
Now you noticed how far away McCullough was when Brad Miller caught that ball. McCullough has got to tighten that up, or the Nets have got to make a defensive adjustment and take McCullough out.
Might see Aaron Williams. We'll have to see on that. There is a jump hook from Kenyon Martin. He has missed his first 3 shots. This is Reggie Miller. He's yet to take one. He tries to take Kittles, who reaches in and strips it away. It'll still be Pacer ball.
And Reggie Miller, with all of his experience, realizes that this time of the year is Reggie time, and he's got to step up and be the leader for this Indiana team, and he's got to offset their inside game by hitting some of those outside shots.
Great steal in the passing lane. Kittles with the punch at the other end.
And that was a great steal. Reggie Miller did not come to the ball. Kerry Kittles anticipated it well, and here New Jersey's putting on a little bit of pressure to try and get the tempo in their favor. They don't want Indiana slowing the pace down and running through a half-court offense.
Jamal Tinsley. Hook pass out to O'Neal, spinning in the lane, missed the lane, rebound McCullough.
Talk about quickness on that spin move.
This is Van Horn. Trying to take Miller to the baseline. Blocked on the reverse attempt. O'Neal was there. And this is Ron Artest.
New Jersey is struggling for its offense. They are not getting great looks at the basket.
Ron Artest missed his last 7 3-point attempts of the season. But he hits one there. Ball knocked away by Jamal Tinsley as he broke up the entry pass.
Let's take a look right here at the steal. Great steal by Kerry Kittles. Great anticipation. Transition basketball is what New Jersey is all about. And if they can force the transition pace, they'll be all right in this game, even though at this point Indiana has picked it up and come out a lot quicker to the ball and made a lot better adjustments.
Strong move to the basket by Jason Kidd, who finishes with the left. That's his first bucket.
It won't be his last, I don't think. He realizes that he's got to be the main guy on this team to make the Nets offense function.
Artest working against Kenyon Martin. Good crossover, and he lost it on the way in. The Pacers will keep it. Artest says he was fouled.
Here you're going to see Jason Kidd, strong, big, takes it into the trees with no fear and no hesitation.
Reggie Miller off the inbound, misfires. Good block out by Martin and a long outlet. This is Kidd, the big race. Lays it in with the left again.
Great outlet pass by Kenyon Martin. Superb pass, easy layup for Jason Kidd.
O'Neal 1-on-3, doesn't care, and he hits it.
He's so good in that low post. He's got so many options, so many moves that 1-on-3 doesn't matter to Jermaine O'Neal.
Almost 5 minutes gone here in the first quarter. Martin, this time with O'Neal on him. Faces him up. Now backing him down. Oh, he tried to hammer it down on top of Miller. And he'll draw the foul. There was a flop by O'Neal with no whistle. That set up Martin.
You're not going to get those whistles in the playoffs. Look at the outlet pass. Past midcourt to a wide open Jason Kidd. What Indiana has to do is they've got to shadow Jason Kidd when the ball goes up on their glass. Here you see Kenyon Martin with a good strong move. Tries to jam it home with authority, gets fouled. But again, Indiana has got to shadow Jason Kidd so that he can't get that easy outlet pass.
A couple good things about that, Rick. You got to love the way Martin attacked the basket. And how about the way Brad Miller said, not on me.
Brad Miller is a tough guy and a physical presence, and he's not going to give up anything easy inside without making New Jersey pay. And you're exactly right. Kenyon Martin could have set a tone with that jam.
That is Miller for the three.
And it's only a matter of time before Reggie gets it going. He is a playoff guy. He steps it up big in playoff time.
Only starter who hasn't scored for the Pacers is the point guard, Jamal Tinsley, and that's just fine with them. In a post-up, Jason Kidd kicks out from Martin. Rattles out on the jumper.
Now, I'll tell you, if it's Indiana's intent to leave Kenyon Martin wide open, they're doing a great job of it, and he's responding by not making a whole lot of shots.
Loose ball foul as McCullough tried to grab the rebound. If that's Miller, that's his second.
And that's the problem with Brad Miller. He is a physical presence on the floor. Reggie coming around that screen, it seems like he's come around that screen since the day he was born. And if you give him any daylight, the way he can shoot it.
So this is Jeff Foster who comes in, replacing Miller with the 2 fouls. And Foster was basically the incumbent as the center before Miller came over.
And not a major drop-off there either. I like Jeff Foster. He's very, very active. He doesn't give you the physical presence that Miller does, but he does an awful lot of things.
Good work inside for Keith Van Horn, who hits the jump hook over Artest. It's a 4-point game.
And that's a key for New Jersey. They've got to establish a post presence. They really don't have a superb post-up player. Van Horn's got to get it done for them there.
Working his way inside. Oh, what a tip back for Jeff Foster. Out of the center position, Rick, the Pacers now have 8 points.
And Foster is a lot quicker than McCullough, and he really attacks the offensive glass. And that is a key right there, if he can be active on that glass.
As Kidd shoots it, we have a whistle. Jamal Tinsley a bit upset right there. Looks like we'll have a Pacer foul when we come back. This is Artest working his way to the basket. What an athletic play by Jeff Foster. So the Pacers are out to a quick start in New Jersey. It's a 6-point lead for the visiting Pacers in New Jersey as we look at the Nets' playoff history. And well, there isn't much of a history, Rick. They've only won one series all time in the NBA.
That's true, and the NBA title 0, but they did win a couple of ABA titles back in the 70s when Dr. J was sporting the afro and the red, white, and blue of the Nets.
1974 and 76, the Nets were ABA champs, and the Pacers were 3-time NBA champs. So 5 of the 9 ABA champs are right here in this game. None of the same players, of course.
No, and it was a long time ago, and for these players, doesn't mean anything to any of these guys.
Now, Jason Kidd, just before the break, was fouled by Jamal Tinsley. That was Tinsley's first.
And you really don't want to foul a Jason Kidd when he's in the middle of shooting a jump shot. You really want to encourage him to shoot those jump shots. Some nice trapping backcourt pressure by Van Horn and Kidd, forcing a turnover by the inexperienced Jamal Tinsley. You know, he's a rookie. He's had a great year, but playoff basketball is something he's got to make a quick adjustment to. Right here, great position by Kidd. He resists reaching in to draw the foul. Van Horn comes over for some help, and Tinsley just not prepared for it. Good move here by Isaiah Thomas, coming in with the more experienced Kevin Ollie.
Ollie in there trying to guard Kidd as Tinsley gets a break and a throwaway there. Aaron Williams has just checked in, and he turns it over immediately, but Williams should give them some solid minutes in this series.
He's going to have to give them solid minutes if they're going to stay in these ball games. And what I liked that time was Van Horn wanting the ball in the low blocks. And again, that's an area that the Nets have to address and they have to concentrate on.
Ron Artest taking it to the basket, high off the glass. Aaron Williams battles and gets the rebound. Here comes Jason Kidd, pushing it. Van Horn ahead of the pack and lays it in.
Once Jason Kidd is able to get that ball on the outlet pass near half court, it's all over because there is none better at running the fast break than Jason Kidd.
Some token pressure off the inbound here as Ollie brings it up. Ollie is a self-made player, really. It took a number of years honing his skills in the CBA and bouncing around to a number of teams. But now he's been in the playoffs the last 2 years, last year with Philly.
And did a real solid job for a nice backdoor cut. See, the thing with Reggie Miller is you cheat to play him coming off the screen for the jump shot. When he decides to go the other way, backdoor it, in other words, he's a lot of times wide open, and that was a good entry pass.
Nets are spreading the floor a little bit. This is Martin out front, looking for help. Aaron Williams. Van Horn wants it down low. They can't get it to him. And we got a 3-second violation on Van Horn.
Take a look right here. See, Kerry Kittles was playing on top of that screen, anticipating Reggie Miller coming out for the perimeter jump shot. Reggie just faked that way, came back inside for the wide open layup.
Well, he doesn't get you one way, he'll get you the other way. Van Horn's going to sit down, and Lucius Harris comes in with his face mask, protecting a previously broken nose. Mid-post for Jermaine O'Neal. Martin will try and stop him. Jermaine on the back down, spins, high off glass. Pretty move for Jermaine O'Neal.
I think this is a better matchup, actually, for the Nets with Kenyon Martin on Jermaine O'Neal than having Van Horn try to cover O'Neal. That time, it didn't make any difference who was on O'Neal. He was going to score. Again, such a great low-post player for such a young kid that he uses the body, creates some space, the fall away. He's got the size advantage on Kenyon Martin, and if he's making those shots, that's exactly what Indiana needs.
Martin out beyond the arc there. Not much of a threat from that far from the basket. Here at the high post, it goes to Williams. Hands to Martin. 5 on the shot clock. Nets better get going. Lucius Harris finally realizes and lets fly. And it goes out of bounds over to the Pacers.
New Jersey in the half court relies on a motion type offense where all 5 guys handle the ball. A lot of cutting, a lot of screens, but sometimes you can lose track of the shot clock when that happens. New Jersey needs to establish a go-to guy offensively.
And a whistle along the baseline. It's going to go against Lucius Harris. He picks up his first foul, trying to contain Reggie Miller.
Most every team that's successful in the playoffs has a go-to guy, an offensive threat who, when things aren't going right, will take the ball and put the team on his shoulders. I'm not sure who that guy is going to be for New Jersey.
Oh, dangerous play down low as Martin had left his feet and came down over the back of Jeff Foster. Foul will be on Martin, and boy, will he pay the price for it.
Now, that's scary for big guys like that.
Hope Martin's all right. We'll find out when we come back. It'll be the Pacers with the basketball. Champions League semifinals getting underway this week. There's a look at the comparison between O'Neal and Martin. So far, Kenyon Martin hasn't made a shot from the field, and he found himself upended at the other end.
A scary play for a big guy. He's probably more scared than he was injured on that interchange. But New Jersey's got to find an answer for Jermaine O'Neal, and I am not sure if there is one, because this kid is really tough.
Decides to take the pull-up, hits nothing. Good hustle in the corner by Foster, but he can't track it down. It'll be Nets basketball.
I think Jermaine O'Neal got a little overconfident on that particular play, thinking he could just do whatever he wanted to do. He is best served, and Indiana's best served when he's in the low block.
This is Kidd with Ollie on him. Steps back for the jumper. Jason Kidd, not known for jump shooting, but anything he gives him from there is a huge bonus.
And he started off posting up, and he is really a good post-up player, particularly for a point guard. Got a foul away from the ball, trying to defend Reggie Miller coming off of those screens.
That's 2 on Lucius Harris.
And if we get the opportunity somewhere during this broadcast, if we are able to watch how Reggie Miller frees himself on some of those low picks, it is incredible what he is able to get away with.
Now Jason Kidd will try and guard him. Defensive rebound by Richard Jefferson. He went high for that one.
Indiana back very well on defense. They had 4 or 5 guys back on defense when New Jersey came down on the break.
Kenyon Martin. Again the flop from O'Neal, but may have been an offensive foul. No whistle. First hoop for Martin.
This is the playoffs, Mark.
Okay.
And those flops don't really work, but yet they just worked on that end. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Kenyon Martin pulled the same thing that Jermaine O'Neal did, but he slid a little bit further. Here's Martin on the post-up that O'Neal tries to flop on. Just a little incidental shoulder contact there that Kenyon Martin gets away with. Down the other end, Kenyon Martin does a major league flop and draws the foul. See, that's the problem. Coaches get very upset with that. They want to see the consistency on both ends.
Jermaine O'Neal said, wait a minute. I'm the 6-year veteran. I've been in the postseason. Martin hasn't. But you know what? Martin is a year older, believe it or not. O'Neal, of course, came right out of high school, and Reggie Miller was fouled. Is that Lucius Harris again?
Reggie, you got the call. Don't be mouthing to the official. You got the call. Take a look here. Richard Jefferson gets the ball slapped away. Reggie gets it and gets upended by Richard Jefferson and Lucius Harris. Foul could have gone either way, but it puts Reggie Miller at the line where he is deadly.
Looks like they got Richard Jefferson. Deadly is right. 91%, number 1 in the NBA this season.
And tell those fans behind the basket, they don't need to be waving things and trying to distract Reggie Miller. They're just using up energy. It's not going to work, folks. This guy can flat out shoot foul shots.
Of course, he's 2 for 2. The only surprise, he hit the rim on the second one. He's got 7 points, and that leads the Pacers. Kidd leads everybody with 8. Kenyon Martin gives to Aaron Williams. Foster is guarding him. Now it's Kidd into the lane. On the pull-up, Jason Kidd is firing at will. Well, he hasn't missed from the field.
He realizes playoff time. He looked early on for 1 or 2 of his teammates to step it up, and they didn't, so he's got to.
Kidd off the steal. No numbers. Still working inside. Off the fake. Steps in, wait.
They call him for
3 second violation.
They could have. I thought originally they called him for traveling, but he didn't travel. And you know, when an offensive player is making a move to the basket, you very seldom see a 3-second call.
Yeah, that's right. It's a 2-point game. Final 45 seconds of the first quarter. First turnover of the game for Jason Kidd. He's got 8 points and 3 assists, rather 10 points and 3 assists.
Nice.
Oh, but he gives up the backdoor bounce to Reggie Miller.
Problem Jason Kidd has sometimes is he watches the ball, and as soon as his head swiveled to see the ball, Reggie Miller, with his experience, went backdoor wide open for a layup.
Took advantage of the aggressiveness of Kidd. Now the rebound for Miller. No, can't hold on, but Kevin Ollie is there.
It's an important sequence right here because momentum. Indiana had it early, New Jersey got it back, and now Indiana can reestablish that momentum.
Just a fraction of a second differential between the shot clock on your left, game clock on your right. O'Neal goes to the turnaround and bottoms it.
And Aaron Williams did a nice job defensively that time.
Kidd with the runner from near half court, cannot convert. And 12 minutes of basketball, 1 quarter in the book. Jason Kidd is doing absolutely everything that the Nets could expect of him here with 10 points and 3 assists. Has not missed a shot from the field. But it's the Indiana Pacers who've made the statement early. They lead the Nets at the end of 1 as we head for the second on the NBA on ESPN. Indiana Pacers, the number 8 seed, just squeaking into the Eastern Conference playoffs with a 6-point lead at the home of the number 1 seed of the playoffs. Mark Brown along with Rick Weitzman as Jason Kidd had himself quite a first quarter.
He did, and now somebody else has to step up for New Jersey. It was like in that first quarter, Jason Kidd looked around and said, okay, which one of my teammates is going to score some points and step up? And when he realized that nobody was willing to take that mantle, he took it himself and did an awful lot of damage. So now we have to see who will step it up for New Jersey now that Jason Kidd's on the bench.
Indiana shot 58% in that first quarter. Brad Miller is back in. He will play alongside Jeff Foster up front as Jermaine O'Neal gets a break for the Pacers.
Now that's a good sign for New Jersey. Lucius Harris is perfectly willing to take that shot, and he drains the first one of the second quarter.
Harris's first basket of the game. And a big rebound from Richard Jefferson. What a key he has been, the rookie out of Arizona. Going to find 6th man. Aaron Williams gives to Jefferson. That's Jonathan Bender just in the game trying to stay with him, but goes under the screen, and Jefferson makes him pay.
On cue, as you are extolling his virtues as a 6th man, comes in and makes a shot. He's probably too young to realize what the playoffs are or to be intimidated by the playoffs. He's just out there to play and have some fun.
Anthony Johnson in to run the point for the Nets, replacing Kidd for a few minutes here at least. Brad Miller along the baseline, and he hits the turnaround. He picks up right where he left off. He picked up those 2 fouls, but now has 8 points.
And it's a tough matchup for Aaron Williams because Brad Miller has that bulk that he can use. I wouldn't be surprised to see Todd McCullough come back in pretty quickly for New Jersey, although they do have Jason Collins in there to give some muscle. Richard Jefferson coming off that little screen, making that jump shot that does wonders for a rookie's confidence in the playoffs to make that jump shot. Brad Miller with a tough score against Aaron Williams, who was in his face.
That last foul went against Jeff Foster. That is his 2nd. So he and Miller both, Brad Miller that is, both with 2 fouls up front. Aaron Williams, another one of those players who had some journeys back and forth from CBA to NBA for a while and got on some rosters for a limited amount of time, but over the last 3 years, he has missed just a single game.
And those guys really appreciate the playoffs because they had to work so hard to get here.
Aaron Williams gets both free throws. Bender forcing his way inside, and an offensive foul drawn by Williams.
Now Jonathan Bender went into the paint totally out of control, no idea what he was going to do once he got there, and wound up committing an offensive foul. That kind of inexperience hurts a team in the playoffs. So I don't think you'll see Bender in the game, but you won't see him for extended minutes unless he's really lighting it up offensively.
Richard Jefferson takes it inside, challenges everybody. Wild shot won't go. And Miller's 4th rebound of the game. Jamal Tinsley back in to run the point for the Pacers, replacing Kevin Ollie. It's filled in nicely. This is O'Neal double-teamed quickly. Gets it out of there. And Bender again makes the mental mistake. Left his feet, nowhere to go.
Absolutely, a mental mistake. Had no idea what he wanted to accomplish. The key with the playoffs is you've got to be under control at all times. You've got to know what you want to accomplish. And I think you'll see a quick sub for Mr. Bender.
They feed the post, it's Aaron Williams. Against O'Neal, good position. And there's the whistle. There was contact. Jermaine O'Neal will pick up the personal. That's his second.
Aaron Williams with an advantage because he is left-handed. And I'm not sure Jermaine O'Neal realized that because he allowed him to go to his left.
So it will put Aaron Williams back on the line. In his 8th season, he has played for 7 NBA teams. But back-to-back years now with New Jersey, they don't want to let him go. This is Ron Artest coming back in. Solid numbers off the bench for Williams, and he's converting from the line.
New Jersey's bench has been such an integral part of their turnaround this year with guys like Lucius Harris, Richard Jefferson, Aaron Williams, Jason Collins. Those guys have added needed depth to this New Jersey team, and that's one of the reasons for their turnaround.
O'Neal, and he hits. Jermaine O'Neal playing with the 2 fouls now in double digits. That leads the Pacers, and that broke what was the first tie for New Jersey since 0-0. Been down 6 on a number of occasions, but not letting the Pacers get away from them. Jaron Collins enters to Williams. They're trying to work this. He goes to the left-hand hook. Artest battling. And now there'll be a loose ball foul. He and Jaron Collins were... Oh, it's going to go against Ron Artest, so the foul against the Pacers. We get a timeout on the floor in the second quarter. Indiana up by 2. Well, just when the Pacers were counted out of the playoffs, they went on an incredible, desperate run, Rick. They won their last 5 games and still had to wait for Milwaukee to lose on the final night of the season.
They really did a terrific job because every one of those games was a must-win situation. The key one, I believe, was the Milwaukee game, April 12, where they won it in overtime, setting the tempo and further causing Milwaukee to fall out of the playoffs. But you make a run like that where you really turn it on and you have that momentum going into the playoffs because they're hungry, they're energized, they realize what it took to get to the playoffs this year.
Well, we will remind you that coming up 2 days from now, it'll be Game 2 of this Eastern Conference quarterfinal matchup. The Pacers and the Nets once again from New Jersey. Catch all the action live right here on the worldwide leader in sports. Don't know who will have the upper hand at this point, but you know what, Rick? We're going to find out within the next hour and a half or so. Continuing playoff coverage here on ESPN. For now, Jason Kidd is getting a rest on Byron Scott's bench. And Byron Scott, actually, just got a note, was just passed by Reggie Miller on the all-time playoff list.
You don't think of Byron Scott as being a huge scorer in the playoffs, but with those Lakers teams that he played for, Magic set him up for those open jump shots that Jason Kidd now sets up Kerry Kittles for.
32 all after the kind roll for Aaron Williams. He's got 6 points off the bench, all in the second quarter for New Jersey. We're tied again.
And you see Isaiah Thomas made that adjustment, getting Jonathan Bender out of the game and Ron Artest in the game.
Jermaine O'Neal with the jumper. He's got 12. That leads everybody.
Coaches really earn their money in the playoff time because they have to make quick adjustments. If they're slow on the trigger making adjustments, a game can be lost.
Jaron Collins, one dribble, now needs some help.
Offensive foul.
Harris.
You don't see that many offensive fouls in a normal NBA playoff game, but these guys are right on top of those.
Lucius Harris now has 3 fouls, and he will go to the bench along with Aaron Williams, who gave him some nice minutes there. Kerry Kittles is back for Harris, and Van Horn comes in replacing Aaron Williams. Van Horn had a couple hoops in the first quarter. This is Brad Miller. Hands to Mercer. Working on the baseline. Blocked by Jaron Collins. Ping-ponged and finally gotten to Kerry Kittles. Kittles being hounded by Tinsley.
New Jersey does a terrific job of team defense. They help each other out. They swarm to the ball when it goes inside, and that has been overlooked as a reason for their turnaround this year. They really get after it defensively and do a smart, solid job helping each other out. That time you just saw Tinsley penetrate to the hoop. Jason Collins was right there ready to pick him up.
And coming back into the game is Jason Kidd. That's the spot where he gets pretty much most of his rest, right at the beginning of the second quarter. And he got almost 5 minutes there.
Well, you won't see him get too much more rest the rest of this game.
That may be it.
He's going to play. If he's healthy and out of foul trouble, he'll play over 40 minutes of a great alley-oop.
How about Jermaine O'Neal? He'll get a free throw on top of that as well.
And a great look by the rookie Tinsley to feed that. Van Horn is fronting O'Neal. O'Neal, such a great athlete inside, catches a little off balance, turns and dunks it. Where are the answers for him? You play behind him, he posts you to death. You front him, and Indiana has a point guard who can make that alley-oop pass.
7 of 10 from the field for O'Neal, now with 15 points. As he completes the three-point play, Reggie Miller getting a break. It's a 5-point game as we come up on the 7-minute mark to play in the first half. Kidd gets the toe behind the arc, but misses on the three. Here's Tinsley surveying the situation. Artest left his feet, got it to O'Neal. Now Tinsley will reset. Miller comes to screen for him. Now goes away, wants it in the post against Collins. He's got the matchup. O'Neal had it knocked away. Kerry Kittles racing ahead. Lays it in past Artest.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised at Ron Artest, because playoff time you don't give up easy layups. And he had a shot at committing a foul, a hard foul, but a good foul, and it would have been a smart foul, I think, as long as he didn't give up the layup to go along with it. Great hands by Jason Kidd stripping that ball.
And now he will lead the transition. Gets it to Van Horn inside. Somehow Jefferson got it out. Kittle. Oh, crowd would have gone nuts there, but how about that? Jason Kidd on the putback. What is it that he cannot do?
He can do it all, Mark. There isn't anything on this floor that he can't do.
Quickly back the other way. Ron Artest trying to cash in quickly. The foul will go against New Jersey and Richard Jefferson.
Now here's the end result of all that passing, and a great offensive rebound by Kidd.
The Nets hanging in there against the Pacers. One-point lead for the Pacers over the New Jersey Nets as we get an overhead look at Central Park, Manhattan, just across the way from where the Indiana Pacers are taking on the New Jersey Nets. The Nets trailing by 1. Let's look at what O'Neal has done so far today, Ray.
And he is doing it from all over the floor. Post up, he is unstoppable in the post up. Alley-oops, jump shots, you name it. This kid has the entire package offensively, and it is a major, major problem for New Jersey trying to match up. Because if you take one thing away from him, he goes to something else.
O'Neal 70% from the field. As a team, the Pacers are shooting 60% here, so getting some great shots. This is Artest, meanwhile, at the line.
Well, that's exactly right. They're getting good shots from the floor, and most of them inside. They haven't had to rely on the outside shooting at all in this game. Most of their scoring opportunities have come from inside.
And And Artest salvages 1 of 2. He's got 4 points in the game. He, of course, one of the 3 players that came over from the Bulls in that trade for Jalen Rose and Travis Best. McCullough's back in the game. Gives it to Kidd, a rare miss for him. He's now 5 for 8 from the field.
I think Jason at this point has got to get Keith Van Horn more into the game, get Kenyon Martin into it, and really try to get Kerry Kittles going, because Kittles can be a scoring threat from the perimeter.
Artest with 4 on the shot clock. Drives back. Martin missed the jumper. Miller kept it alive for a moment, but Kenyon Martin just takes it away from everybody.
But what Kenyon Martin did was he held on to the ball a little bit too long.
Van Horn missed the 3. Kidd and McCullough inside the block. McCullough wants goaltending, but it'll be a clean block by Jermaine O'Neal. Here comes Miller.
What a quick up you saw from Jermaine O'Neal to block that shot.
Artest off 1 dribble.
What a quick up, Jermaine O'Neal. Todd McCullough had a point-blank layup, and O'Neal just got up there to swat it, and it was not goaltending.
Keith Van Horn took a shot in the face from Artest. Artest saying, hey, didn't mean anything by it.
Take a look here. McCullough, point-blank layup, and look at how quick O'Neal got up there to block that.
Well, that wasn't goaltending, was it?
Nope. And here Artest slapping at the ball, gets Keith Van Horn, and that's a tough injury for a shooter, believe me.
4-point game, deep on the baseline. It's Martin, but he shoots the fadeaway.
He should have taken it in strong to the basket rather than shoot the fadeaway.
Tinsley will back it out and wait for reinforcements. They go to Jermaine O'Neal. Adjustment on the wristband there. And it spins to the baseline. What a tough turnaround. Jermaine O'Neal has 17.
See, the first post-up of the game, O'Neal, or the second post-up, O'Neal settled for a fadeaway. He hasn't done that since.
He hasn't. McCullough, been pretty much a non-factor so far in this game.
That's better. That's better for Kenyon Martin, even though he did travel.
Got the right idea, though.
Exactly right. He's not going to settle for that fadeaway. He's going to take it to the basket. Here, Jermaine O'Neal takes time, catches the ball, takes time to adjust his elastic band on his wrist before he makes that move. How about that for composure?
Man. Miller had a good look there. Quick handoff. Oh, Kidd up ahead. Kittles. Not many guys are going to be able to make that delivery.
You saw the only one. Maybe a John Stockton can make that delivery, but Kidd does it all the time.
Jermaine O'Neal! I thought we'd seen it all from him today, but he sends it in right on top of McCullough, plus the foul.
Somebody needs to send a message. Well, here we're going to take a look at that great feed from Kidd to Kittles. But right here, somebody better send a message to New Jersey that Jermaine O'Neal is a pretty tough player, and he's going to take it all the way to the basket if you give him a lane, and he's going to put it home with authority.
His game today has been incredible as McCullough picks up his second foul. 19 points, a chance for 20 right here. He's hit 9 of his 12 shots from the field.
And you saw 2 examples of athleticism and quickness versus a slower player in McCullough, where O'Neal blocked his layup down one end and then just breezed right by him on this break for a layup and a foul shot.
This is Kidd pushing off on Tinsley and hitting the step back.
Tinsley is not well equipped to cover Jason Kidd. And if Kidd becomes the major offensive threat for New Jersey, I think you might see Ron Artest swing over and cover him.
O'Neal going against Van Horn. What a fake. Oh, we hadn't seen that one. Turns back the other way. 22 for Jermaine O'Neal.
Every time we think we've seen it all from this young man, he digs into his bag of tricks and comes up with something new.
Tried to force it to McCullough there. There'll be a foul. McCullough was trying to hold off the defender. We got a timeout on the floor, and there is the confident swagger of a man who knows he is controlling this basketball game. Jermaine O'Neal. Check out this shape. The dunks, the fadeaways, he's doing it all. The Pacers in control against New Jersey. 2:29 to play in the second quarter. The Nets having all kinds of trouble here in their home opener of this 5-game first-round Eastern Conference series. And trouble in the form of Jermaine O'Neal, who has almost half of his team points.
I think he's come to play today.
Oh, he has.
He has come to make a statement in these playoffs, and he's doing it right off the bat in the very first game. New Jersey just does not have an answer. They don't have anybody who can play this guy.
Well, welcome to the game, Todd McCullough. He gets on the board. Solid averages. Of course, a reminder, keep it here for the NBA halftime report. We'll have SportsCenter in games, Major League Baseball updates, and hey, don't forget about that NFL draft that is taking place today and tomorrow. 6-point game. Open is Artest. Second 3 of the game.
And you don't expect Artest to make those shots with any degree of consistency, and if he can do that, it's just another weapon to offset O'Neal in the low block.
Largest lead of the game. Martin saved the turnover there.
But a pretty good backdoor cut, and another good backdoor cut, but Indiana very alert to those cuts.
Martin saved the turnover, then turned it over, but the Pacers give it right back as Tinsley tried to hook up with Miller. It wasn't a very good pass.
No, and you really expect better, and so did Reggie.
Yeah, that's right. How do you expect me to hit threes in transition with passes like that? Here comes Reggie, going to bring it up all by himself. No numbers. Now O'Neal, quick shot this time, and can't get the roll.
A rare miss for Mr. O'Neal.
Today, for sure. 10 of 14 from the field.
And our first look today off of the Indiana bench at Austin Crozier.
He's now guarding, or trying to guard, Todd McCullough, giving away several inches there.
Indiana going pretty small here.
Steal from Artest on the double team. Goes around the back. And now Miller for 3. Crozier saves it blindly, and a play by Tinsley to take it away from Van Horn.
Yes, it was. It was that defensive safety stepping up to intercept that pass. Now Indiana will try and get a good shot here.
Reggie Miller off the ball. You always know when Reggie wants you to know that he's being held off the ball.
But what you don't see and what you don't notice is what Reggie does first in terms of holding his defensive man or pushing his defensive man, and he never gets called for that. And it's years of experience and coming off those picks that he gets away with it, and more power to him because he understands how to get away with it.
Like a great wide receiver, he can get separation with that hand play. Always gets the calls too. 5 on the shot clock. O'Neal at it again. Got his own miss this time and puts it back.
He had a great mismatch there against McCullough, and he knew it, and he realized once he missed the shot that he had a lane to get that offensive rebound.
First double-digit lead of the game. 5-second differential shot clock, game clock. Van Horn takes it strong and fouled from behind by Ron Artest.
Again, a nice backdoor move by Van Horn. Here's O'Neal. McCullough does a pretty good job initially, but he doesn't put a body on O'Neal. He just turns and looks for the rebound. Can't do that with someone as athletic and quick as O'Neal is. Down this end, Van Horn made a nice backdoor cut. Kidd found him. Van Horn, I thought, could have gone up a little bit stronger and muscled his way in for that layup, but Indiana swarmed to the ball and committed the foul.
5 points for Keith Van Horn. We will have a timeout on the floor before he gets his second free throw. Just a 20-seconder for the moment with 13.6 to play in the first half.
Just a way for the coaches to make sure the teams know what they're doing in the last 13 seconds. Look at the numbers.
As good as these are, Rick, for the season, he's playing better today than those numbers.
No question about it. But talk about a breakout season. 19 points, 10 rebounds a game. You know, when you get to the point where you're an everyday 20-point, 10-rebound a game player, you've arrived. And there aren't many of those guys he'll give it to you every night like Jermaine O'Neal does. And he stepped it up here in this first opening game of the playoffs. He certainly has stepped it up and been the man in the first half.
An overnight sensation, 6 years in the making. Of course, he came right out of high school back in '96 and didn't get much time on a veteran and talented Portland team in his first few years. But he has blossomed over the last two. Final 10 seconds of the first half. It's a 10-point game, and the Pacers certainly will want to take the last shot. Tinsley on the breakdown. Gets inside, can't hit. And Martin corrals the rebound. We've got the buzzer to end the second quarter. A first half absolutely owned and operated by Jermaine O'Neal. 24 first half points, 24 of Indiana's 52. The Pacers have come into New Jersey and jumped all over the Nets. A 10-point lead for the number 8 seed over the number 1 seed in the East. The NBA halftime report is coming up next. Halftime in New Jersey, the Pacers with a 10-point lead over the first seed in the Eastern Conference, the New Jersey Nets. And of course, despite this score, it's been a new era in the land of the Nets. The past few seasons have brought some difficult times for the New Jersey Nets. The team has made just one playoff appearance in the last 7 years. Injuries and questionable draft picks only added to their struggles, and the franchise was in desperate need of a leader. This season, that leader arrived in Jason Kidd. The superstar was traded to the Nets in exchange for their point guard, Stephon Marbury.
I think what you'll see from this day forward is this franchise is going to get better, and it's going to go in a very, very positive line. And Jason is going to have a lot to do with that.
And Kidd has sparked an amazing turnaround in New Jersey. The Nets have soared to the top of the Eastern Conference, led by the brilliant play of their floor general.
Leading the break, it's Kidd. Go alley-oop, Jefferson!
Here they come again.
Kidd bouncing. Perfect angle for Kittles.
I really enjoy, helping the big guys out by getting the rebound, and which leads to a fast break, which hopefully will lead to a dunk.
Here comes Kidd running with Kenyon Martin. Oh, my God!
I try to make my guys better, and if I don't make my guys better, then I'm not doing my job.
Kidd behind the back and a razzle-dazzle.
What a great look by Jason Kidd.
Another key to the Nets' success is Kenyon Martin. Leading the team in scoring, the second-year forward has become one of the league's most explosive players.
Swing it. Kittles, extra feed. Martin attacking. Oh! He nearly brought the backboard down.
Send it in, K-Mart! The arrival of Kidd has helped Martin lift his game even higher, and together they form a devastating duo.
Kidd on the handoff. Back to Martin. Right over Mutombo. Kidd with the ball fake. Martin. Oh, big finish. Kenyon Martin.
If he see I have a step on someone, he's going to throw it. But he sees everything on the court at once.
Kidd the lob. Martin, the trailer, and the big finish.
We talk about it either before or after. Just say, look for this time, or look for this time, or we watch tape.
Kidd racing. Oh, catch and slam. Oh.
It just happens a lot of the time.
But it's not only these two stars who have fueled the Nets' revival. The team has received important contributions from some of their other players. One of them is guard Kerry Kittles. After missing all of last season with a serious knee injury, Kittles has recaptured his form and is once again displaying his tremendous talent.
Kerry Kittles up high. He climbed the imaginary ladder.
Also bouncing back from an injury-plagued season is Keith Van Horn, who has regained his place among the league's top power forwards. He is among the team's leaders in scoring, and his inspired play has helped bring new excitement to New Jersey.
Nice cut by Van Horn. Van Horn! He hammers it down. Nets want more. Kidd for Kittles. Leaning in. Oh, jam! Van Horn rocks the rim. Way to run the floor.
Center Todd McCullough, who arrived from Philadelphia, has become a force in the middle, and the Nets have also received a lift from two standout rookies. High-flying forward Richard Jefferson has been a valuable sixth man, providing offense off the bench, while Jason Collins has made an impact inside.
For Martin, a jumper. Side of the rim, no. Jefferson fighting. Tapped it to Collins. Chance for three.
Byron Scott doesn't want to stop at just winning the East, and their floor leader has the same thought.
We've set goals at the beginning of the season, and we've kind of brought out the eraser, and every week we've kind of changed the goals to make them a little bit higher. And now, you know, the ultimate goal is to win the Eastern Conference and go out and win the Eastern Conference Finals, and then, you know, roll the dice and see what happens in the championship.
Oh, this place has exploded. Fans on their feet.
Well, it's still early, but right now those dice have come up snake eyes for the Nets. They are trailing at the hands of the Pacers by 10 at halftime. We're working our way to the start of the third quarter. Pacers-Nets, Eastern Conference quarterfinal. Well, the New Jersey Nets said they wanted to wipe the slate clean after a great regular season. Well, it looks like it's the Pacers that have wiped that slate clean. They put 52 on the board against the Nets. Here at halftime, Mark Brown along with Rick Weitzman, and we're going to take a look back to some of the best moments. Jason Kidd, Keith Van Horn, getting ready, Jermaine O'Neal. Who would have the big game? Well, on the blocks, it was a great defensive play by Kerry Kittles. He had 9 first-half points, including that jam off the break. And then, Jermaine O'Neal, 1-on-3. Just work a little something in the paint to put my team up by 4. Later on, Indiana was up by 6. Ball movement here. Kidd going down inside for Keith Van Horn to the jump hook, but they're not the only team that could move the ball.
Now Indiana looking for Reggie Miller, who makes a nice backdoor cut and receives a pass for a good layup. But then the show was Mr. O'Neal. Here he scores on a nice little turnaround jump shot over Aaron Williams. In the second quarter, we've got an alley-oop from Jamal Tinsley. Again, Mr. O'Neal wanting the Continental Arena to see what he's all about.
Well, the Pacers led through most of the first half, and off the little broken play, Kerry Kittles tried to lock down a 3, but there was Jason Kidd with the first offensive rebound of the game for the Nets, and he put it back his 14. Led all net scores in. Then Jermaine O'Neal. I still don't think Todd McCullough knows what hit him. Took off from nearly the free throw line. 2 of O'Neal's 24 first-half points. Miller and Artest had 9 each. New Jersey's being led by Jason Kidd. Is he scoring too much right now, Rick?
Well, he has to score. Nobody else is really stepping up. Kerry Kittles has got 9 points, but they've all been off of Jason Kidd feeds on the fast break, basically. So somebody else has to step up for New Jersey.
So the Nets won 52 games in the regular season, but right now, Jason Kidd is the only one stepping up for this Nets team. Working our way to the start of the third quarter. We'll have it for you on the NBA on ESPN. Start of the second half is coming your way here on the NBA on ESPN. Game 1 of this Eastern Conference first-round matchup between the Indiana Pacers and the New Jersey Nets. The Nets, the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, trailing right now to the number 8 seed. Speaking of the Eastern Conference, Ben Wallace plays in it for Detroit. An overwhelming choice today for Defensive Player of the Year.
And no surprise there, he has been the dominant defensive player in the game this past year. Block shots, rebounds, intimidation, steals, you name it, Ben Wallace has done it. And he has come from a long way back to reach this level.
Led the NBA in rebounding and blocks. Also, 15th in steals. For a big man, that is an incredible number to put up there. 1.73 steals a game. So all around, Big Ben, the Defensive Player of the Year without question, according to that voting. Byron Scott looking on, maybe needing a little more defense out of his Nets, as they've given up 52 in the first half to the Pacers.
And most of them to Mr. O'Neal. I would be surprised if New Jersey doesn't make some sort of adjustment on the defensive end. And what I'm thinking is that when O'Neal gets the ball in the low block, that they will run a double team at him almost immediately. They've got to do something. But yet I don't see that double team. Here it comes. Here it comes now.
From Martin it came that time. They swing it down. This is Tinsley. Kicks it out for Artest. Shot clock running down. Had to throw up a wild left-hand shot. Rebound by Kmart.
You know, I think if they do double him, nice pass. Nice run the floor. Big men running the floor and get the reward.
First basket of the game for Todd McCullough. He had a free throw earlier.
Well, again, I think we've got an injury or something. Jamal Tinsley is down and being attended to, and that would be significant if he loses any time.
Well, that has the attention of Isaiah Thomas for obvious reasons, his #1 point guard. Of course, Travis Best was part of that trade that sent Jalen Rose to Chicago. Best was the backup point guard and a very capable one for the Pacers. And in return, the Bulls had to send Kevin Ollie over, who's handled the backup duties. That would put an awful lot of pressure on the 5-year man out of Connecticut if for some reason Tinsley can't finish this one.
Tinsley has done such a great job all year long for Indiana. At least it's a leg injury. He's up, but being helped off the floor. They'll take him to the trainer's room and get those doctors in there to take a look and see what is really wrong.
And no pressure whatsoever being put on either leg as he comes off.
Now let's see if we can see it right here. Tinsley goes up to cover McCullough. When he came down, he must have popped something when he came down. I thought originally he might have gotten tangled up in the crowd, but he hurt that leg as he was coming down.
Stripped away inside. It goes right to Brad Miller, and Miller hits another shot. He now has 10 points, the second Pacer into double digits.
Well, if in fact New Jersey is going to double up on O'Neal inside, somebody else for Indiana has got to step up, and Brad Miller can hit that perimeter shot, but also Reggie Miller can hit that shot. Good sign for New Jersey. Kenyon Martin hitting that perimeter shot where he struggled mightily in the first half.
He was only 1 of 6 in the first half. It's his first attempt here in the second. Miller to Miller. Would have been a 3. Rebound McCullough, always into the hands of Jason Kidd. Kidd quickly up to Van Horn. No number, so he'll pull it out. And now straight back inside. McCullough, great position inside, and he drops it in.
And it's amazing. Jason Kidd always sees the least little opening that presents itself and delivers the ball. Most point guards would not have even thought of delivering the ball at that angle to Todd McCullough. Kidd gets away with it, and it translates to a basket.
Ollie on the but inside, in traffic, couldn't hit it. Speeding ahead, Kittles. Oh, Kittles lost it, had nowhere to go. This is Miller coming back for the Pacers. He brings it out, bumped into O'Neal. Now O'Neal has it from Miller. And the hot hand doesn't continue, at least not for the moment, here into the third quarter. Ollie wants to settle things down now. It's a 6-point lead for the Pacers. 2.5 minutes gone in the third. Miller to the corner.
New Jersey has come out with a new sense of purpose in this second half, and they're creating problems for Indiana. Right there, a turnover, but New Jersey is much more active defensively. And that looks like Tinsley going off with some sort of knee injury. Not a good sign whatsoever. The only good sign is that he's going off on his own power.
That's for sure. Hope to get your report on that. Turnaround jumper won't go for Van Horn. McCullough working the offensive glass. He's by far his best few minutes of this game have happened to start the third quarter.
Well, they got him involved. They got him the ball in the low post. They fed him on that break. And that energizes a big fella and makes him work even harder on the glass.
Certainly seems to have happened here in the third. Ollie running that point for the Pacers.
It looks like he's going to have to go the whole way in the second half is Kevin Ollie, and he's got to do a solid job if Indiana's going to win this ball game.
One of those things, get it to Jermaine O'Neal, 26.
And tonight, that is the safest bet for Indiana. Get it to the big fella and let him do his thing inside.
8-point game. High post McCullough out to Kidd now. Kidd uses McCullough as a screen. 20, and he hits. Jason Kidd has 16.
Well, what the first few minutes has proven to New Jersey is that, yes, they can be in this game and they can win this game. Had Indiana come out fast in the second half, this game could have been over.
Crowd starting to get in it now at Continental Airlines Arena.
There's the double, taking the ball out of O'Neal's hands.
Ollie.
Making somebody else beat them. Ollie that time stepped up and made the jump shot.
That's certainly the shot that the Nets will live with today, right, Rick?
That's exactly right. Wouldn't you rather give up that shot than the ball going into Jermaine O'Neal in the post?
Absolutely. Or to Reggie Miller anywhere. Turnaround won't go. Martin, the offensive boards. It came out on the dunk attempt, but a whistle. So Kenyon Martin will have 2 free throws.
New Jersey much more active on both ends of the floor, playing like the first place finisher in the Eastern Conference. I think they were a little embarrassed, caught off guard in the first half, and Mr. Byron Scott laid into him, I believe, in the halftime and said, hey, you guys worked hard for this home court advantage, and you worked hard to get the best record in the East. Don't blow it by playing less than aggressive basketball, and I think they've listened because they're back in this ballgame.
0 for 2 at the line for Kenyon Martin. Noteworthy, though, that Jermaine O'Neal has picked up his 3rd foul. Keep an eye on that. Miller gives it back to Ollie. They're still trying to work O'Neal. Nowhere to go with it. Ollie misfires on the jumper.
And Jason Kidd that time, you saw him defensively play halfway. He was taking the pass away from O'Neal, giving up the outside shot to Kevin Ollie. Good, smart defensive maneuver.
This is McCullough. Gives to Kidd and then screens for him. Jason on the drive. His 3rd left-hand layup of the day for Jason Kidd.
And where was the defensive help inside for Indiana? Jason Kidd, a point guard, should not be able to cruise the lane like that uncontested.
And another foul away from the ball as Reggie Miller tries to extricate himself.
Why is it no surprise that Reggie Miller is in the middle of that, away from the ball, trying to free himself on a pick?
Artest to inbound. Kidd's first foul of the game. Open is Miller from 20 in the corner. This time he can't hit. Martin and Van Horn work together to corral that rebound. It's a 6-point game. Kenyon Martin pushing it up quickly. Now it's Kittles into the lane. Tried to find McCullough, who normally has good hands, but that was a tough one to handle.
It was. McCullough has great hands, Mark, as you mentioned. Kittles went into the paint, originally thought to kick it out to Kenyon Martin in the corner for a 3. Keith Van Horn, who was not open, and he changed his mind and tried to feed it to McCullough. Tough angle on that pass.
10th net turnover of the game as Reggie misses from long range. Pacers have 12 turnovers. Here's Kidd in transition. Gets it off somehow to Van Horn, who has trouble. He was being swarmed under by Pacer defenders. It'll still be net basketball.
Now, how easily did Indiana score in the first half by getting the ball into Jermaine O'Neal for post-up stuff? They haven't done that as much this half, and it's because New Jersey has made some adjustments defensively.
Kerry Kittles off the Martin screen, uses him again. Now has O'Neal on him, steps back beyond the arc, and can't hit the 3. Now it's Ollie. Ollie's going to push it up. He's got Artest into 10 feet, had it stripped away, but a whistle. They're going to get Jason Kidd for the foul.
Jason Kidd has such quick hands that he usually gets away with that.
That'll bring us to a timeout here in the 3rd quarter. The Pacers and the Nets battling it out. First round, game 1 action. Well, here's a look at the Eastern Conference bracket. Of course, we have the New Jersey-Indiana matchup game 1 for you. Charlotte and Orlando also get underway today. Detroit, the number 2 seed, will take on Toronto. Boston and Philadelphia, they get their series underway tomorrow. And the latest we heard is that Allen Iverson will be ready for that one already.
Allen Iverson will play in this series. Make no mistake about it. He is as tough a kid as there is. It's a matter of how effective he will be, because as a shooter, to have a broken bone in his hand, that's kind of tough.
Well, good news on the Jamal Tinsley front. No broken bones for him. A mild sprain. We're going to jump ball here as there's no basket. The whistle happened before. Is Tinsley, mild sprain of his right knee, and could be available to return today, Rick. So that would certainly be good news for the Pacers.
Oh, absolutely. But anytime you have a knee injury, mild sprain or not, that tends to get worse if you run on it a little more, and they need him for the long haul in this series. So I would be surprised if he's able to come back in this game.
Think about maybe being a little tentative with something like that, and that is not something you can be if Jason Kidd's on the other side.
Exactly. As a point guard, you've got to utilize quickness, and without a solid knee underneath you, it's hard to be as quick as you need to be.
Well, this is as close as the Nets have been in some time. They come out with pressure, and forced the 13th Pacer turnover.
And a good move, good coaching move to put pressure on. You've got the backup point guard for Indiana, Kevin Ollie, who has to play major minutes. Get him game tested early. So New Jersey put the pressure on him. Turnover.
Kerry Kittles fouled by Reggie Miller. Miller incredulous with his look to the officials, as always, but picks up the foul nonetheless.
Reggie, you're not going to get away with every call now, even though you've been in the league for about 40 years. You can't get every call.
First foul on Reggie Miller in his 15th season out of UCLA.
It seems like he's been around for 40.
If you were still in the league, it would almost be your 40th. Something like that.
Something like that.
4-point game. Pacers trying to hold on to this one. Tremendous first half for Indiana coming into New Jersey. Artest misses on the three. Lots of white jerseys there for the defensive board. This is Kidd. What's he going to do now? Swings it across. Van Horn. Oh, you can't get a better look at a three in transition than that one there for Keith Van Horn.
How about Jason Kidd waiting for that play to develop, understanding where the opening was going to be, and delivering the ball. Now, how many touches has Jermaine O'Neal had in this third quarter inside?
How about not enough? We'll just go with that. He gets one here. Ollie in trouble. Shot clock running down. O'Neal has to fire and hits. Adding to the legend today.
Wow. But again, how many low post touches and opportunities has O'Neal had? Yeah. And credit Byron Scott and his coaching staff for making some adjustments in that area.
Kidd fakes the three. Takes Ollie in. Can't hit off glass. Battling Miller for the rebound.
Brad Miller showing a little of that physical toughness.
Miller open at the other end. O'Neal tipping it to himself.
Well, Keith Van Horn has got to put a body on O'Neal. O'Neal's too quick, too athletic to just turn and go for the rebound. You got to put a body on and block him out.
They forgot about Ollie on the drive. He finds Miller, who is sandwiched between Martin and McCullough. He'll have 2 free throws coming. He earned them.
And Todd McCullough giving a little back at you. But look at this. Shot clock winding down. Jermaine O'Neal is in a zone today, and he can do no wrong. But McCullough putting a little body on his counterpart, Brad Miller, showing Mr. Miller that there is another physical presence out on this floor wearing a different uniform color.
Miller working on a double-double. He's got 10 and 8. As we look at those who have sent it home the most this year, obviously O'Neal. Hey, how about Pau Gasol? That may be a bit of a surprise.
Absolutely.
And of course, Kenyon Martin also over 100.
No surprise with Kenyon Martin up in those in that stratosphere.
Second free throw was good for Brad Miller, so he has 11 points in the game to go along with those 8 rebounds. Kerry Kittles bounce pass, McCullough rejected, but put back. How about staying with it after the O'Neal block?
Exactly right, and that's tough for a big guy to have his layup attempt blocked, and that's the second one today that O'Neal has gotten, but McCullough did not give up on it and stayed right with it and made the follow.
All 3 McCullough hoops have come here in the third. They try the alley-oop down low, blocked from behind. One of the first times they've had any semblance of stopping O'Neal. That was Richard Jefferson.
They swarmed to the ball. They swarmed to O'Neal. 3 nets collapsed on him. Take a look at this block and then the follow by McCullough.
So McCullough trying to spark the Nets. The Nets having a pretty good third quarter here and finally starting to pay attention to Jermaine O'Neal, making things difficult on the Pacer big man. It's a tight one. 2-point game in the third. Well, the Pacers, throughout much of this game, have controlled it. New Jersey really has yet to lead the game, but are within 2 with 2:45 to play. And, of course, Jason Kidd is an odds-on favorite for MVP. He's certainly showing that tonight.
No question in my mind who the MVP of this NBA season is. It is number 5, Jason Kidd. He has been the main reason for the turnaround of the Nets this year. He just does what needs to be done, sees the whole floor better than anybody in the league, delivers the ball at sometimes impossible passing angles. 20 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. What else can he do but take some tickets and hand out the popcorn?
He might still do that. Of course, Kidd, a 37% career postseason shooter, but he's much better than that today. Van Horn blocks O'Neal. This is Kidd. 4-on-4, poked away from behind. I think it was Miller who knocked it out.
You don't see that happen too often.
Who takes it away from Kidd? Who catches him from behind? Almost nobody. One of the fastest players end-to-end with the ball, probably who's ever played.
I wouldn't be surprised if Jason Kidd is faster with the ball than he is without the ball.
He might be. 4 on the shot clock. Artest has to hurry. Against Jefferson. Off-balance shot, rebound to Kidd. Second best rebounding guard in the NBA.
And by far the best rebounding point guard in the world. Probably of all time.
Jefferson in trouble, but kicks it out. Van Horn, barely drew iron, but what a play. Along the baseline, Aaron Williams.
And the Nets are just out-hustling Indiana, quicker to the ball, forcing Indiana to look a little bit rattled offensively. Look at the hustle play. Aaron Williams throwing it off Brad Miller, and that was just hustle, just desire to get to the ball and save it. Now, there was two other pretty good rebounding point guards in the history of the game. Oscar Robertson was one, and Magic Johnson was another.
Yeah. Magic at 6'9". That could explain part of that.
Yes, it could. And Oscar at about 6'5". And of course, Jason Kidd
is not small.
Jason Kidd is not small. He's 6'4", 6'5". We're talking about point guards. That man right there was a pretty good point guard, Isaiah Thomas.
Maybe a discussion here as to whether the shot hit the rim at all from Van Horn. I thought it did just graze it.
It looked like it did.
If it did, there should be a new shot clock.
Absolutely, looks like there is.
Kidd firing away. Rattles out, almost got the roll off the top of the backboard. Richard Jefferson.
But look at the hustle. Aaron Williams got a piece of that offensive rebound. Got it over to Jefferson. Another opportunity. Those were plays that New Jersey was not making in the first half. Van Horn makes them pay by delivering the basket.
Ties it at 61. Under a minute and a half to play in the third.
And the crowd here is now into the game.
And a jump shot answered by Reggie Miller. He hasn't had much to say. His first points since the first quarter. He's got 11. 2-point lead.
Nice backdoor. And how did you know that Jason Kidd was going to find him? He just knew it. Once you saw Jefferson break loose on the backdoor. Now here Kidd hands off and sets the screen for Van Horn. How many point guards are going to set that physical kind of screen to set up a shooter?
Heath Van Horn starting to come alive here a little bit. He has to be a factor for the Nets.
Positively.
The Nets have never led this game. Now trail by 2.
And they forced O'Neal to catch the ball away from the low blocks, which is exactly what they want to have happen.
Ollie made the great cut, took the pass from O'Neal, but had it blocked from behind as he tried to reverse it.
Now you had a 6'2" guard trying to make an inside shot against some pretty decent size in there.
Richard Jefferson gets his second block. Tough fadeaway for Artest. Another rebound for Jason Kidd.
Not good shots, with the exception of the Reggie Miller jump shot from the free throw line. Indiana has really not had good looks at the basket.
7 rebounds now for Kidd. Final 30 seconds of the third. Tough shot. Foster into the game and gets the rebound.
Not a great shot attempt by Jason Kidd. I think he was looking for the pass. Nothing was open, so he had to shoot it. Now Reggie will do some handling at the top of the key and try to isolate. Maybe a pick and roll with O'Neal.
Lucius Harris guarding him tightly. 4 on the shot clock. This is all Reggie. Step back. It's a long 2. Kidd another rebound. Still got 2 seconds left. Fires from 35. Oh, he rattled it out off the glass. You just had a feeling that Jason Kidd was going to do something special right there at the end of the third quarter. Jason Kidd single-handedly trying to keep his team in it with 20 points and 8 rebounds, but so far it's been Jermaine O'Neal and the Pacers, a 2-point Indiana lead, heading for the fourth. Well, the Nets coming up with a pretty solid third quarter effort.
They made all the right adjustments at halftime, Mark. Particularly defensively, they took away Jermaine O'Neal's game and forced other people to try to beat them. Of course, Jamal Tinsley going down with a knee injury in the third quarter has not helped Indiana at all, but New Jersey has gotten new life, and they've gotten themselves back into this ball game. They have really turned the tide. You would like to think that Indiana now can make the adjustments necessary. But here's Mr. Tinsley back in the game on that sprained knee.
So the mild sprain, not enough to even give him a complete day off. They go into O'Neal, who goes right at Van Horn, the helping Jefferson with his third block. Diving play by Kidd to keep it alive, but a whistle. And it'll be a foul on O'Neal.
Again, great hustle by New Jersey. They have outquicked Indiana to the ball here. Some great help defense. 3 white shirts swarming all over Jermaine O'Neal. We didn't see that in the first half. That is the major adjustment that Byron Scott and his staff made at halftime.
It's the 4th foul on Jermaine O'Neal, and you think about how this all came about. Tremendous hustle. You got the block shot, and then Kidd diving for the ball at midcourt. I'd love to see that again, though, to be able to see whether or not O'Neal really committed a foul. He gets a technical on top of it, which Kidd summarily hits.
What a turnaround. And Indiana is bewildered at this point. Nothing is going right for them. Everything is going right for New Jersey. And yet, Indiana still has a 1-point lead. Now here, a new face into the lineup for Indiana, Ron Mercer.
Mercer coming over in that Jalen Rhodes deal from Chicago, and has really fought to get any minutes at all. This Pacer team, a legitimate score. Kidd was hacked and changed to the left hand, almost had a chance for 3. Instead, going to have 2 free throws.
Willing himself into the paint, Jason Kidd. There was no opening there, and he just got there, though, somehow, and got a shot up, and is at the line for a couple.
And Kidd, of course, a strong free throw shooter, just over 81% on the season. He ties it up. He can give the Nets their first lead of the game.
And he is real close to a triple-double.
Yes. Showing why he's a lot of people's MVP, but he can't get him over the edge just yet. Tinsley showing no signs of the sprain just yet of that right knee. Off the screen, pulls up for a jumper. He was scoreless before the injury, Rick.
It certainly didn't hurt his confidence offensively. That knee, usually when you get a twinge in that knee, you don't make jump shots.
He is looking a little gimpy in between the whistles.
Yeah. And that could be for effect as well. You don't know. He's a young kid, and youth bounces back a lot quicker from little tweaks and injuries than old timers do.
Down by 2. The Nets looking to tie. Kidd, gets 2 defenders in the air and gets no whistle.
Well, he did create some contact, and I think he was expecting the foul call to go his way.
Had to slide his shoe back on after he hit the deck. He will guard Mercer. Meanwhile, Harris is on Tinsley. Tinsley takes him to the basket and lays it in. Back-to-back hoops for the injured Jamal Tinsley.
That really is amazing. When he limped off the floor, you thought he was out for not only the game but the series, and here he comes back in and quickly makes a couple of shots, and one driving to the basket.
Trying to give the Pacers some breathing room, but they are the rolling hook across the lane. from Kenyon Martin.
And they're playing with so much more confidence offensively. And it's because of the adjustmts they made defensively. They're doing it defensively. They're swarming to the ball. And their confidence offensively has translated that. But Tinsley is doing everything he can to keep Indiana ahead.
He has come out of the locker room where he received treatment for a mild sprain of his right knee. He's hit 3 straight shots.
When he was in the locker room, did he put on that cape with the S on it underneath his uniform?
He may have, and what a move inside. Richard Jefferson. Been doing it with a defense today with the 3 blocks, 2 of them on O'Neal. Now has his second hoop. 2-point game. Tinsley with Kidd on him. Draws 2 defenders. Somebody's open. Mercer. Good look at that one. And they will say Williams touched it last, so it'll still be Pacer ball underneath.
Let's take a look here at Richard Jefferson into the paint, little step over, and makes the layup over Brad Miller. The athleticism of Richard Jefferson.
Lucius Harris out tight on Mercer, knocked it away. It'll be Pacer ball on the side. There's Mercer, former Celtic, former Nugget, former Bull. Am I missing anything?
Not yet. I think he's only been in the league about 4 years.
Yeah, he's been busy moving around. Off transition. Kidd. Harris back to Jason Kidd. Kidd on the drive. And it'll be a kick ball violation as Kidd put that ball into traffic, but it will work out for the Nets. They will have the basketball when we come back, still trying to get over the hump against the Pacers. Just under 9 minutes to play in Game 1 of this Eastern Conference first-round matchup. Reggie Miller is getting a break on the bench as a 36-year-old, 104 games of playoff experience. These are the starters for the Pacers. After that, a significant drop-off.
Well, it's still, Reggie has more playoff experience than the entire New Jersey Nets team.
How about that? Kenyon Martin left alone. Harris, the offensive board, and puts it in with the left. Hustle play for Lucius Harris. We're tied.
Absolutely, and Indiana was just standing around. New Jersey taking the emphasis, going after every loose ball and coming up with every loose ball.
Ron Mercer gives to Ron Artest. Artest trying to back down Harris. Fakes him up, goes left, tips it back. And Foster couldn't control it. Was looking to make a play along the sideline. But it's going to go over to the Nets, who again will have a rare chance to take the lead today.
Every time Indiana got the ball or gets the ball inside, there are 3 or 4 New Jersey Nets swarming to that ball.
They work Harris again. Hits again, and there it is. The first lead of the day for the Nets.
Credit New Jersey. They have stuck with it, hung in there, and battled their way back, and now lead, and their home fans are into it.
Miller working against Williams. Oh, count the basket plus the foul. Brad Miller with a strong move inside.
He just toughed that ball into the basket, and now the horses are coming back for Indiana. Reggie Miller and Jermaine O'Neal. And they have got to see, Indiana needs to see the first half Jermaine O'Neal as opposed to the second half Jermaine O'Neal. First half 24 points, second half 4.
The Nets making the adjustments, I guess.
Absolutely making great adjustments.
Say, what went wrong in the first half? Jermaine O'Neal killed us.
Well, that's what playoffs are all about. One team does something, the other team makes an adjustment, back and forth, and whichever team makes the right adjustments is the one that comes out on top.
Jamal Tinsley picks up his 4th foul.
Yeah, a little bit trying to be a little physical defensively, and wide open right in front of the official. Lucius Harris is about 6'5", so he's got a size advantage on Tinsley.
And they're trying to milk that. It worked for 2 quick hoops to actually give New Jersey the lead, but we're tied at 71, 7:20 to play in this game. And they're away from the ball again. Reggie Miller drawing a foul. It's going to go against Richard Jefferson.
Anytime you get Reggie Miller down underneath, coming off screens, particularly going against a rookie, and I don't care how well that rookie does defensively, Reggie Miller's got the advantage there. because he, again, knows all the tricks of coming off screens.
Pacers have their starting lineup out there. 3 players off the Nets bench in here at crunch time. Tinsley can't hit the jumper. Kenyon Martin makes no doubt about whose ball that is. And Kidd will set up the Nets, looking to regain the lead.
The Nets are in a flow offensively. They're getting all kinds of pretty good looks on the offensive end.
Kenyon Martin stripped away by Reggie Miller. Tinsley has it. No numbers for the Pacers, but they forget about Miller. That's a 3, Reggie Miller. Opportunistic.
That is, to understate it, not the guy you want to leave open for a 3-point shot. I don't care how badly he has shot prior to this attempt. You don't leave him open for a 3.
Reggie Miller's second 3 of the game. 260th of his postseason career. Sent back in by Kenyon Martin.
With an exclamation mark at the end of it. Boy, did he send that thing home.
As they usually are when Kmart is concerned. New Jersey getting the edge in second chance points. It just may turn out to be the difference today. Ball was knocked away. Kenyon Martin.
Reggie Miller, he has made a living in this league just like that, hitting wide open 3s. And down this end, Lucius Harris draws Jermaine O'Neal. Nobody puts a body on Kenyon Martin. And as athletic as Kmart is, you've got to put a body on him.
Those 263s by Reggie Miller, we should say, are the most in NBA playoff history. Short on that one, but Brad Miller bails him out, and the Pacers will get a fresh 24 with the 1-point lead.
And that may be the first time this half that Indiana has gotten a second opportunity and out-hustled New Jersey for a rebound.
Oh, Miller was open along the baseline, but Tinsley couldn't get it to him in the right spot. Turnover for the Pacers as they cling to a 1-point advantage. Well, we showed you the East. Here's the West. And, Rick, this is where the power lies.
Oh, absolutely. And each one of those matchups is intriguing. The only one that may be a little lopsided is San Antonio having the edge over Seattle that I can tell. Sacramento will wind up beating Utah, but not without a battle, because anytime Karl Malone and John Stockton get on the floor in a half-court game, they can create some problems. But those matchups, each one of those 4 series is going to be fun.
Certainly 6 teams deep this Western Conference, with teams as good probably as anybody in the Eastern Conference. You could go down to Dallas, Minnesota, Portland as 4, 5, 6s and say, hey, those are probably the best teams in the East if they played there.
Well, I think you have a point there, Mark. I wouldn't debate that at all.
Of course, Keith Van Horn and the Nets would have something to say about that. They did go 17-11 to the Nets against the Western Conference, but that's against the entire Western Conference, not just the playoff teams. Kenyon Martin, he had an open 20-footer, but it takes it inside and makes sure of it.
Well, I like that play. He had the open shot, as you mentioned, but he decided to take it in and get a better shot and maybe draw a foul, and that's a good, smart offensive play by Kenyon Martin.
Second lead of the game, and I'm just about getting tired of seeing Reggie Miller get foul calls running across the lane without the ball. I'm sure the Nets feel the same way.
But get used to it, because you're going to see it a lot more. And Kerry Kittles has got some experience, so he might be able to stay with Reggie a little bit better on some of those screens.
Miller wants it against Williams. Instead, they go on top to Artest. 5 on the shot clock. Artest knows it, uses it all. Reggie Miller, the offensive rebound, and had nowhere to go with it as he was going out of bounds. A rare offensive board opportunity for Miller.
My question is, where's Jermaine O'Neal? Is he in this ball game?
He's in the game.
How come he's not getting the ball in the low blocks for Indiana?
2 baskets since a 24-point first half. Kidd stolen by Ron Artest, second in the league in steals.
Give it up.
He does at the last moment for Tinsley on a 2-on-3, and Indiana has regained the lead.
Yeah, if Artest had given that ball up earlier, he would have been on the receiving end of that layup because Tinsley had that scoped out. He was going to give it right back. Another
back steals by Artest and flushes it.
Artest is quick, and he is a good defender who anticipates very well. He's done that successfully the last couple of times down.
11 points and now 3 steals, averaged better than 2.5 steals a game during the regular season, second only to Allen Iverson, and ahead of Jason Kidd. And now a foul away from the ball against the Nets. And speaking of Ron Artest and steals leaders, there it is, 2 of the top 3 in the NBA. Artest and Kidd going at it in this game.
Pretty good quickness on that list.
Absolutely. Right now, New Jersey having a couple of bad trips down the floor. Artest working on Martin. Knocked away.
Good defensive effort that time by New Jersey. A little sloppy by Ron Artest trying to do too much.
Oh, Kenyon Martin! That was like a dunk off the glass.
Exactly. How did he make that shot?
That came in hard.
But they needed that. They really needed that because, as you said, they had a couple of bad trips.
O'Neal missed the jumper.
Good work by Aaron Williams. Brad Miller had the inside position, but it's another steal by Artest.
4th of the game. 3rd of the last minute and a half. Well, Ron Artest was a player who played the end of this regular season with the sense of urgency that helped get the Pacers into the playoffs. And there is Miller to make it a 3-point game.
But Reggie Miller made that play. 2 New Jersey defenders went to Reggie, left Brad Miller wide open, and Reggie delivered the ball. Every play down this stretch is going to be important. Every turnover.
Martin misses the jumper. Artest the rebound. And now a timeout for the Pacers. 2:31 to play in the 4th quarter. They've got a 3-point lead, and they want to talk it over with Isaiah Thomas. You're watching the NBA playoffs on ESPN. 2 full timeouts left for each team. A 20 left for New Jersey. 2:31 to play in game 1 of this Eastern Conference first-round game. Mark Brown along with Rick Weitzman and Reggie and the kids showing some poise here down the stretch.
Yeah, but you just saw 2 of the keys to this turnaround by Indiana. They took New Jersey's blow and came back mainly because Jamal Tinsley re-entered the game and played very well. And also Ron Artest turned the tide with a couple of key steals. Now down the stretch, Mr. O'Neal has got to step up. And Mr. Reggie Miller has probably got to step up for Indiana. New Jersey has got to create some easy scoring opportunities for themselves down the other end.
Pacers have their complete starting lineup in there. Oh, Van Horn went for the steal. Great help from Aaron Williams, the lone member of the New Jersey bench, who is in their lineup right now.
And New Jersey has done that so well this half, adjusting to the ball, sending another body at Jermaine O'Neal, doubling him up and helping out.
Jason Kidd, I'm counting him, Rick, 4 left-handed layups today.
Just the fact that he's able to get into the paint, he's so strong that it doesn't matter that shot blockers are around him or big physical guys are around him. He doesn't care about that, and he just goes up through them.
Makes it a 1-point game. Reggie on the move, banks it home, plus the foul. Reggie Miller adding to that playoff legend.
Big-time move and shot by Reggie. He got bumped on the way up. Let's take a look at it. Comes around the curl, into the paint, gets bumped, puts it in off the glass. Here's Jason Kidd reaching in. That's where the bump occurred, but it didn't do enough to throw Reggie off. He makes the shot off the glass, and now he's at the line where he's almost automatic.
91% automatic. And he's got it. And that was huge. Some tiny little bit of breathing room here with 1:40 to play. A 4-point lead for the Pacers. Jason Kidd. They swing to the other side. It's Kittles, double teamed. Drive poked away from behind. Van Horn ended up with it. Oh, Kmart sends it home.
Big time follow.
Artest 1-on-3 and draws a whistle. You really have to question where Artest was going. I guess the result is all that counts.
You're exactly right. He lucked out. Look at this. Van Horn takes the fall away. Watch how high up Kenyon Martin is. Wow, he just drops that thing down. He's head and shoulders above the rim on that follow. Big time play. Artest now has got to make some free throws.
And he's got the first one. Artest on the season only 67% from the line.
That's why it's pretty good. It was a pretty good foul because he's not a great foul shooter, but he made the first one pretty easily.
Could not get the second one. Van Horn clears it. A 3-point deficit for the Nets.
Plenty of time, though. Plenty of time. The Nets will not panic. Kerry Kittles had an open shot.
Probably should have taken it.
You're right. He probably should have.
Now Tinsley will walk it up here. No hurry. They want to use all 24 if they can.
And I think if Artest handles the ball again, they might foul him.
Tinsley still has it. Kittle switched to him. Kidd is guarding Reggie Miller. O'Neal with 6 on the shot clock. Here comes the double. Has to give it up. Oh, Tinsley doesn't want it. Reggie does. Oh, an air ball and a shot clock violation.
Reggie's upset. Is he upset with Tinsley or is he upset with himself?
Well, maybe a little of both, but he was yelling at Tinsley. He's saying, take the shot.
I think you're right. I think you're right. Tinsley had an opening, but it's a smart play from Tinsley's part.
Yeah.
Who are you going to give it to? But Reggie Miller, one of the best three-point shooters of all time. Reggie, you got to draw eye and don't be yelling at Tinsley. You got the shot, make it.
And they've also still got the lead late in the fourth in New Jersey. Home. And Reggie Miller, now with 42 seconds left, they put a fraction back on the clock with a shot clock violation.
Plenty of time, Mark. Plenty of time for New Jersey. They're down 3. They don't need a three-point shot here. They're going to get the ball back at least one more time. But what they need to do is get a good shot quickly, because then come down and make a stop and give themselves enough time for the last second shot. So they've got to get, they can't rush a shot here. They've got to get a good look, but they can't waste too much time off that clock in getting that good look.
Artest will guard Kidd. Kidd has it screened from Williams. And he is fouled out front. A hold given up by Brad Miller. That is Miller's 4th, and it's the first foul in the last 2 minutes, so no free throws to be shot.
Good strategy there to commit that foul.
Here's Kidd curling into the lane. Gives
Shoot
to
it.
Van Horn. Fires away. Rebound Foster and fouled by Jason Kidd. Or did he get a timeout first?
I don't know, but I'm surprised that Jason Kidd passed that shot up. He had the shot in the paint. That's something you've got to take. You're 3-4 feet away from the basket. So you got to make that. You got to take that shot.
20 seconds left in the fourth. Pacer ball looking to hold on to the 3-point lead.
This replay, Jason Kidd gets into the paint here. He has a shot, and yet he dishes it out to Keith Van Horn. I think if Jason Kidd had that to do over again, he would have taken that shot himself. He set Van Horn up for a tougher shot than Jason had himself.
And a quick timeout by Jeff Foster there on the rebound. Foster only a 61% free throw shooter. Got the timeout before Kidd could foul him.
Well, they've got to foul right away. They can't waste a whole lot of time in letting Indiana wind that clock down.
And they get it into Brad Miller, who was fouled quickly. Kittles picks up his 3rd foul.
Now, some people would say, why foul him? You've still got an opportunity for a 3-point shot attempt to tie the game, but yet they've got to have the ball with enough time to do something.
And for a big man, Brad Miller, an excellent free throw shooter, as I say.
Not on that play.
He really needs this one to make it a 2-possession game. It's a 3-point lead right now.
But there's still plenty of time. There's 20 seconds left in this game. Plenty of time for New Jersey to get their 2 possessions. They call a timeout, they'll get the ball at half court.
1 of 2 for Brad Miller, who has 16 points and 12 rebounds. Been a great game for him.
It has been. Now, New Jersey, in this particular sequence, getting the ball in at half court, they've got to get it to Jason Kidd right away. They don't have a terrific post-up guy that can get it for them. They've got to get it to Kidd and make him create something. See, Indiana's got to score. New Jersey's got to score quickly. They got to get it inbounds and get to the basket quickly. They don't need a 3 here. They've got to get points on the board and then commit a foul right away.
Both teams in the bonus. A timeout for each team remains. No 20s. And he inbound it to Van Horn. This is Kidd trying to break it down. Gets to the hole and can't lay it in with the right. And then they foul Jermaine O'Neal with 12.3 seconds left.
I think Jason Kidd was surprised that he was as open as he was for the layup. No contact. I think he was looking to create some contact. He just didn't make the layup. Watch this move. He coasts in, gets fouled a little bit outside, but has a clear layup and doesn't convert on it. He converts that layup. It's a whole new ball game.
So trouble for the Nets as Jermaine O'Neal gets to the line where he's a 69% shooter on the season, but hasn't had a lot of shots lately. He's taken only 2 shots from the field, made 2 shots from the field in this whole second half, but now with 29 points. He did so much damage in the first half.
Oh, he did. He set the tone of this game in the first half, and then Indiana just had to hold on and weather the storm and weather the net comeback, which they have done successfully.
Very deliberate style for O'Neal, and he gets them both. And a timeout for the Nets as the hole gets dug deeper for the home team. The number 1 seeded New Jersey Nets, number 1 in the Eastern Conference, playing the number 8 seed Indiana Pacers. But the Pacers come in hot with a 5-game winning streak, and now with just over 12 seconds left, lead New Jersey by 6 points. 2 threes and some help are going to be needed for the Nets. Of course, Game 2 is going to come your way 2 days from today here on the NBA on ESPN. The Indiana Pacers and the Nets. Game 2 will once again come from New Jersey before the series shifts to Indiana for 3 and then 4 if necessary. 5 would be back in New Jersey if we get that far. And Rick, if you lose Game 1 of a 5-game series in the NBA playoffs, you lose the series 86% of the time.
Well, that's a good point, Mark. But I think in this particular game, New Jersey's going to look at how they lost this game, if in fact they do lose this game, and say to themselves, this is a game we should have won. We did not play well enough. We made a run in the second half, but we did not get it done in the first half. And I think they're going to feel that they can still win this series.
Do you hear skeletons rattling around in that New Jersey closet? 1-10 all time in playoff series. We had to bring it up.
Yeah, but none of these guys were around for any of those losses, so I don't think that's going to be a factor. They've got to hit a quick 3.
They get Kidd. It's only a 2, so it's still a 4-point game.
Quick foul.
And they get it from Aaron Williams with 8.2 seconds left. Well, they got quick points, but both of Kidd's feet were not beyond the 3-point arc.
Yeah, I don't even think he was close to the 3. He came off of that set play and did not line himself up for a 3, which was kind of surprising. You know, you've seen a couple of mental lapses from Jason Kidd down the stretch in terms of that layup that he missed and not getting a 3 and instead taking a 2.
Brad Miller now with 17 points, makes it a 5-point game.
But this game 2 Tuesday, if this is a calling card for this series, this is going to be a terrific series because both these teams are going to come at each other.
89-83. Last shot on the way won't go. The rebound goes to O'Neal. There'll be no foul, and that'll do it. The number 8 seed in the Eastern Conference has knocked off the number 1 seed here in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference quarterfinal matchup. The Pacers with the victory. Jermaine O'Neal leads everybody with 30 points. He got most of them in the first half, Rick, but that really set the tone.
It did. It set the tone, but the 2 keys to this win were Ron Artest making those key steals early in the fourth quarter and Jamal Tinsley coming back after injuring his knee and being solid in the second half. New Jersey's got their work cut out for them in this series. No question about it, losing the first game at home, essentially losing the home court advantage that they worked so hard for all year. But make no mistake about it, they can still win this series.
The Pacers get only 4 points from their bench, but it doesn't matter. Their starters played brilliantly. O'Neal, Miller, and Miller coming up big. And, of course, as Rick pointed out, Jamal Tinsley, all 8 of his points came after he returned from the game with that sprained right knee. So Tinsley, the rookie, in his first ever postseason game in the NBA, comes up big when it counts for the Pacers. So the New Jersey Nets find themselves down 1-0 in this best-of-5 Eastern Conference first-round series at the hands of the Indiana Pacers. Jason Kidd was brilliant at times with 26 points, but it wasn't enough to lift his Nets over the top. Jermaine O'Neal stumbled a bit in the second half, but ends up with 30 points. For Rick Weitzman, I'm Mark Brown. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. The Pacers beat the Nets by 6 in Game 1.
Welcome back to our studios. Once again, we hope you enjoyed the game. Just a reminder, we will continue our coverage of the 2002 NBA playoffs on ESPN Monday night when the Pacers and Nets play Game 2 of their series in New Jersey. Find out if Isaiah Thomas's Pacers can head back to Indiana with the upper hand on Byron Scott's Nets. It's Game 2, Indiana and New Jersey, Monday, right here on the worldwide leader in sports. Have a good night, everybody.